morning, guys. Am I audible to all? You can put your thumbs up in the Instagram feed. We'll get to know. Am I audible, guys? Am I audible? Shall we start then? Okay. So, hi, good morning all. My name is Mayuk Mazumdar. I work at the Trident Bandra Kurla. I take care of the pastry section over here, and we'll be doing a recipe called Belgian chocolate pudding, which used to be in our menu in our Italian restaurant called Porticino. So I'll take you through the recipe, but before that, to introduce myself, I have been with the company for 15 years now. I have worked in South Bombay hotels before and Calcutta, and then I got posted over here. It has been a great career since I've joined Oberoi's, and I would like to tell all of you that APCA has been a major moving force in the pastry chefs' lives of the Oberoi hotels. Because any kind of difficulty we face, any kind of challenges we come across for the technicalities of the products, we reach across chefs like me, like Alisha, like Ramandeep and Chef Nikhilesh. Obviously, they have helped us a lot in the last 3-4 years to develop our products. So you guys are in great hands, and it is a great opportunity for me to connect with you through this platform. So as I mentioned that I'm going to discuss the recipe of Belgian chocolate pudding. These are the recipe. I have already shared it with you earlier. So I'll take you through each step of the recipe, and then we'll start making them. All right. So I'll go to the kitchen now. Okay, so because of the COVID pandemic, there has been a certain number of rules and regulations which we need to come across, which we need to follow now, which were not there before. However, usage of hand gloves, face masks, face shields, they have become extremely prominent these days. But for this video, I will not be wearing a face mask because otherwise you will not be able to hear me properly. However, the hand gloves rule will be followed. You will find color coordinated chopping boards, hand gloves being used, face masks being used all over the hotels these days. So there are other rules also which are into play, that for example, you need to wash your hands every 30 minutes. You need to change your gloves after you wash your hands. You need to change your gloves as soon as it gets wet, or as soon as you jump from one job to another. So that will also be demonstrated as long as we are doing these recipes. So I'll proceed to the recipes now. Here. So for the chocolate pudding, we have egg yolk, which is here. We have unsalted butter, which is here. We have chocolate, which is here. We have sugar and flour. So these are the ingredients which will be used for making the pudding. These are the ingredients. Right? So I will be mixing the sugar with the egg yolk first, and will melt the chocolate and the butter. Once this mixture is ready, I will be adding the melted chocolate and butter to it and folding in the flour. Clear? So I'll start with the melting of chocolate, and when the chocolate is getting melted, I'll whip it in my kitchen machine over there. So I have put the egg, I am going to put the castor sugar in it, and I'll leave it to whip. And in the meantime, I'll go to the microwave and melt the chocolate and butter separately. So I have started melting my chocolate in the microwave. I'll take you there. So I came across this recipe of Belgian chocolate pudding quite a long time back, about 10-12 years back, from a chef who used to be with our company. His name is Siddesh. He first did this chocolate pudding recipe while he was training at the Oberoi Grand, and I was working there at the time. So when I saw the recipe first time, I was quite fascinated with the fact that it is a specific technique to keep the center moist and the sides fully baked so that it can slide off the mold nicely. So I've asked him the recipe and he shared with me, and I kept trying and improved my skills to be able to take them off the molds easily. Yeah. So see, the mixture, the mixture is turning pale and white, and this is a proof that the egg is getting whipped properly and the sugar is getting mixed properly. I'll whip it for some more time and come back to it. Chocolate is getting melted. As we have all learned that chocolate should not be melted for a longer duration in the microwave. A burst of 30 seconds, couple of times, and a quick stir with a spoon or a spatula, that does the trick normally. So I'm doing it. Okay, I have my egg mixture ready over here. This is how it looks. So it becomes fluffy and pale, and then you know that your mixture is ready to go in. You can also choose to mix it by hand, but the only thing is that I find it is better to have a fluffier recipe, a fluffier beating of egg white. It makes your final product really light. So I leave it here and get back to the chocolate and butter. The chocolate is almost melted. Maybe one more burst and it will be ready to go, good to go. So always check for lumps in the chocolate by taking it with the spoon up. There are a few more lumps which are yet to be ironed out. I'll go in for one more burst. So just to brief you, because of the COVID, we are in use of two particular disinfectants or soap. One of them is a soap solution called Suma Multi. So we have to clean every utensil, every tabletop with Suma Multi, and then we have to sanitize it using Suma San D10. These are the names of two solutions which comes to us from Diversey. Diversey is the name of the company who supplies the solution, and we keep using them while we work in the kitchen. As and when we finish one job and proceed to another, the surface area needs to be disinfected, cleaned and sanitized. So my chocolate is ready, melted. I'll melt the butter now. So in this mixture, I'll be folding the chocolate and butter first, followed by I will be doing the folding of the flour, cut and fold method. And once it is ready, I'll give it a little rest for 5 minutes or 10 minutes just for the mixture to settle down a bit, and then I'll pipe it into these ramekin bowls, which will be greased with butter and flour. I'll show that to you. See, my melted butter is ready, melted chocolate is ready. I'll proceed to making mix for the dessert. You can mix the chocolate and butter in the same bowl where you are melting it. However, my bowl is small, so I am putting it into another mold and mixing it with butter. So this is how it looks like after chocolate and butter has been mixed together. Yeah. Now I'll be folding this mixture into the egg and sugar mix. You can obviously wait for some time to take the temperature down, because if it is too hot, your egg is going to start curdling. Once it is little cold, little towards room temperature, you start mixing the liquids together. In the meantime, I'll show you that I'm going to set the oven for the baking. So we have this combination oven, which is of Angelo Pope, that is the make, and this is the control panel. I have already kept it preheated. I have kept it at the temperature of 180. I'm going to bake it in about 12 to 14 minutes. And yeah, the oven is kept preheated. That is how it looks like from inside. I'm going to do the baking in this oven. right now guys I'm working inside the Botchino kitchen because pastry kitchen operation is going on there. I am was not able to go live from the pastry operations. So I had to find out a separate kitchen. This kitchen does not operate in lunch at the moment, hence I chose that I will be doing the live session from this kitchen. So this is not a pastry kitchen at all. You will not find pastry equipment around when we move around along with us. Right? So now my mixture has cooled down a bit. I am going to mix it with the egg mix. Obviously you have to go gradually. You should avoid putting in the entire mixture in and then start mixing it, because as long as you are putting small mixtures in, it is going to stay fine, because ultimately it should not curdle. So now chocolate, butter, egg and sugar, they are completely mixed together. And now I am going to fold in the flour. So to avoid over mixing, I am going to drizzle the flour entirely on the top like this and then fold all of them at once. You can also choose to do it in 2 parts or 3 parts. But the only thing that you should avoid is over mixing. Flour is in, normal cut and fold, but yeah, I'll go deep down and figure out if there are any lumps which are left at the bottom, or if there is any unmixed chocolate butter mixture which is left in the bottom. Yeah, it looks like this now. Ready to go into the molds. I'll keep it for resting for some time and then I'll pour them into the molds, right? So these are the ramekin bowls which I have. get some butter, dust them on the ramekin molds, and then put some flour into it for greasing them, right? This is a very important process, because if you do not grease your ramekin molds properly, you will not be able to demold the baked pudding. It won't come sliding out of the mold. It will get stuck, it will get broken, and a lot of mess is created when there is an order and not able to pick it up. Remember, this is an a la carte dessert out here, which is why it makes it more critical that your mold is always greased properly and always dusted with flour properly. Else, the orders get delayed, and since this is baked at the order, we always take about 15-16 minutes advance notice from the guest. It is mentioned in our menu that this particular dessert will be served to you in 20 minutes after ordering. So, you know, the difficult part is if you break one, if you do not manage to take it out properly, then the guest needs to wait for 20 more minutes for one more fresh piece to be able to be served to him, right? So that is unacceptable, and we should not let that happen. So this is that Suma sanitizer which I spoke to you about. So all work surfaces we sanitize it by spraying Suma sanitizer, C4 napkin. It just needs to be rubbed all over. Yeah. Every kitchen in our hotel is given a tray which contains these napkins, the sanitizer, and the Suma multi with a scrubber. So all tabletops that we use, we need to clean them and sanitize them the way just I have shown. All okay? Any questions so far?
What is the alternative of eggs?
Alternative of?
Eggs.
Eggs?
In pastry cream.
In pastry cream?
Well,
you can make pastry cream with custard powder, but that ideally should not be called as a pastry cream, because pastry cream, the recipe calls for eggs only, and it does not turn out to be as nice as it comes out with eggs. Custard powder definitely give you something, but it will not give you the original taste. So since I'm working in a hot kitchen, non-air conditional area, I had to put the molds, the ramekins into the refrigerator for some time for the butter to get set. Else everything will melt and wash away. So now the butter has got set, you can see. Now I'm going to dust them with flour.
So can you please tell us about some chocolates also? The question is there in the Instagram.
Let us go some chocolates.
What chocolate are we using? to
Okay,
make it?
we are using dark Coverture chocolate, which is Calibu 54%. This is the same chocolate which you also use in your academy. So no change than that. That's the basic chocolate that we need to use out here. You can choose to use a chocolate which has a higher degree of cocoa content. You know, so in case your guest would prefer to have a little more bitter taste in the chocolate, you can go for a chocolate with 70% cocoa content or 72% cocoa content. Whichever chocolate is fine. But our recipe is set with this 54.4% dark Coverture Calibu, which is the 811 coded one. I don't have the packet with me at the moment, otherwise I would have shown it to you.
There are some questions. Can we use a compound chocolate for making
Ideally
this?
not. Ideally not, because compound chocolate, the emulsion tends to break quicker than Coverture. So ideally I would prefer to use Coverture only.
So how much time you will take to set the dough in the refrigeration? The mixture of the pudding.
I'll be taking it out now. If I would have worked in the pastry kitchen, which is an air-conditioned area, I would have not put that into the refrigerator at all. So yeah, now the mixture is ready and ready to be piped into the molds. So we will be doing just that now. I already have 2 greased ones, and total I have 5 now. Good.
Is there any vegan options which we can prepare?
Vegan pudding, I have not come across something as a vegan pudding because most of the puddings, use of eggs is a prerequisite of most of the puddings. So yeah, I have to research and get back to you about a vegan option of this particular dessert. So I'll put the mix in the piping bag now. Okay, here our next element of the recipe comes into big picture, which is the frozen ganache. So frozen ganache is nothing but a regular ganache which is kept frozen. I have made the regular ganache. I have cut them into cubes and then I have frozen them. This is the frozen ganache. You can also do it in your silpat mats if you have some, and freeze them up in the deep freezer, and they will be good to go. Yep. So I fill some mixes into the ramekin molds which I have greased, about halfway through the molds. We have to be careful not to allow any drippings of chocolate on the edge of the molds. So if you allow the drippings after baking, it will be difficult for you to take off the pudding and slide it out of the mold. Okay, so yeah, now I'll add the ganaches. I just suspend them on the top and I'll pour some little more mixture to cover them up. Since the ganaches are frozen, the idea is to have a dramatic effect of the ganaches flowing out while the guest is going to cut and have his or her first bite of this pudding. So the ganaches are added. I'll top them up with more mixes now. You can also choose to do with some jelly which you can freeze and add. For example, we had one option which had a raspberry jelly inside, and that also turned out to be quite nice. Chocolate and raspberry is one of my favorite flavor combinations, and it turned out to be nice also.
Can we use cupcake molds for making this dessert? There's a question.
Cupcake molds, as in those are tin molds, aluminum molds. If aluminum molds, then yes. If it is a ceramic, then also yes. But I would kind of suggest you to use individual molds, because this kind of desserts, they need to be taken out individually. You cannot take them out from a matte mold. If it is a silpat mat, then it gets difficult because then you cannot individually demold them. So that's the only reason I would prefer this kind of molds or aluminum molds instead of any other molds. So I have a little more mixture to go in. I'll put the mix in the piping bag again and pipe it. So in an a la carte operation like ours, we make these in batches. Probably in a batch of 5 or a batch of 6. We would like to keep the desserts as fresh as possible, as freshly made as possible. So, it is a choice of how much bulk production you're going to undertake and how much you're going to leave it for the last time that you can manage. But yeah, depending on the kind of operation you have, you kind of need to make those decisions correctly, which allows the guest to have the best food as possible.
So can you also tell us the ratio of ganache which we have prepared?
I have shared the recipe. I'll just tell you in a moment. It is a basic ganache recipe which has got 2 parts of chocolate and 1 part of cream. So yeah, I will not have the molds filled till the brim, because I'll leave some space for them to rise. The molds are filled now. I'm sorry, there will be little background noises because the equipment of the kitchen are buzzing all the time. I hope I'm still audible to you all. So one job has finished. I'll put them into the refrigerator back again in order to set them properly into the mold. Maybe about 5-10 minutes. So again, this is the full process of cleaning your wok tabletops out here at the moment. Every time you finish a job, you clean it with the soap solution first, wipe the top with the squeezy, dry it with the napkin, and then comes the sanitizer to sanitize your tabletop. You need to be able to come across as a particular place where people can trust to come and have their food, or people can trust to take their food away. Once this is done, then I wash my hands, sanitize my hands, wear a fresh pair of gloves, then good to go. Okay, my team tells me that flaxseed can be. Somebody asked me about a vegetarian or eggless option of this recipe. So flaxseed is an option, but I need to research more about the flaxseed and the water quantity which will go in fresh flaxseed. It can be used as an option to come up with a vegetarian option of this particular recipe. So I'm going to put the desserts into baking now. Preheated oven, spaced out on the baking tray or plate. I put it in. I'll take it out after 12 to 14 minutes. So these are the plates which I am going to use for the plating of the dessert. Now for the plating, I have the chocolate soil, I have the sour cherry reduction, and I have the pastry cream. So pastry cream is made by mixing egg and sugar, and which is then cooked with hot milk. Hot milk and custard powder. So this needs to be cooked on the double boiler. The recipe explains itself. If you take the milk to a boil and separately add the yolks and custard powder and castor sugar together. While the milk is boiled, then you mix the milk slowly into the egg mixture. It's called tempering the egg mix. And then once the egg mix is tempered, it is brought back to the stove again, and you cook it till your spatula gets coated with the pastry cream. Then you pull it down in a kitchenette like I have used. Otherwise it forms a scum on the top. This is that pastry cream. Sour cherry reduction is nothing but sour cherry frozen, which is taken out of the packet and cooked together with icing sugar till the consistency becomes a little thicker. So if you see the sour cherry juice, it has become a little thicker. So that is what we need. And then we have the chocolate soil. It's nothing but a form of chocolate crumble, in which we have almond powder or almond flour, cocoa powder, flour, butter and sugar. The recipe is already given. So all these things is mixed. In this case, the butter is kept chilled and diced up. So once the mixture is coming to a sandy texture, we take it off, put it on a silk pad and a tray and bake it in the oven. At a 60 degrees Celsius, it takes about 10-12 minutes for the crumble to get cooked, and then we are ready to go. So these are my mise en place. I always hold them in my a la carte dispense area. While my dessert is getting ready, I can get ready with the plating. And then I have an ice cream to go, which is a vanilla ice cream, which is kept in the deep freezer at the moment. Once the dessert is ready, I'll be able to plate up the ice cream. Okay. भाई ने डाला है कि नहीं? भाई तो भाई कैमरा चेंज कर दो इस तरफ कर दो. Hi, so any questions as far when the product is getting baked? I can give you certain answers. Okay, people are asking about replacement of the eggs. I already mentioned flaxseed and water, fresh flaxseed and water, but I am yet to research it in detail. I can get back to Chef Dean and let him know about my research on this. Right? What else, guys? Okay, why it has to refrigerate it? That is a question. The reason being, I am not working in a cold kitchen at the moment. I am working in a regular hot kitchen. You can see me sweating. So, yeah, that is why we need to rest the mixture a bit. Otherwise, there is a case that the emulsion can separate out. Right? Baking time and temperature for the pudding is shared in the recipe, but I'll tell you again. Baking time is 12 minutes to 14 minutes. Temperature depends on the oven. If I would have used a deck oven, I would have used a 200 degree Celsius temperature. But since I'm using a combi oven, I'm using a 180 degree Celsius temperature. So depending on what suits your product best, you can operate in that particular temperature range. Yeah. Temperature is 180 degree in a combi oven. 180 degree in a combi oven. Time. Aquafaba, I have never tried using it, but definitely that is an option. You can try and use it. Yeah, Aquafaba is also an option. OTG. Again, I have no experience about working in an OTG. I would have to do it and see it. But yeah, at home I have baked a few products in OTG. It turned out to be nice, but it does not have, it was not a pudding. But I am sure pudding can also turn out in an OTG. Okay, the name of the pudding is Belgian chocolate pudding. In an OTG, you can bake it for about 14 minutes and check. See, also there is a possibility that every time we bake a pudding, it does not come out of the mold as easily as we would have loved to. So it is always a kind of thing wherein you keep practicing to get the thing right. Actually, yes, you can use rational as well. How much time is left?
9 minutes.
So we have about 8 minutes to 9 minutes to go for the pudding to get baked. In the meantime, I'll plate up the rest of the stuff. Sanjit. So I'm going to go with the pastry cream first. The chocolate crumble will balance my ice cream. And the sour cherry compote will come on top of the pudding once it is plated. Okay, so I'm going to need this paper to hold the cup in my hand while I'm demolding, and it is always great to have a small knife at your disposal like that, with which you can scrape off the sides while you're demolding it. Okay, 3-4 minutes more to go, and then we can start doing the plating. I'm going to use this spoon for my ice cream with some hot water. Yeah, the video is going to be saved in IGTV of APCA. I'm making a chocolate pudding, a Belgian chocolate pudding. So the pudding is already in baking, and I'm going to show you how it looks after baking. And I would have loved you all to taste it, but probably I'll be tasting it alone. Yeah, the baking is almost done. Almost done. I'm going to get them over here and start plating up. Final few moments, then we are ready to go. yeah, that is how they look once they're baked. Be very careful with your hands when you handle them. Now they're extremely hot. I'm going to loosen them with the knife a bit. And then with the other one. Now time to plate. So as soon as it's plated, we finish the plating with Sard chilies on top, with some Sard chili sauces on the side, and we have the ice cream to go. It's okay to have it look like this because you intend to serve it right now to the guests. I have prepared a puff garnish, which is a roll of puff with cinnamon sugar. And then the ice cream is on top. Just like that. I have only one garnish, so I'm going to garnish it like that. And there you go. So when I cut it, it should flow out like this. So you have a dark chocolate with the pastry cream in the base and the tartiness of the Sard cherry combined with a little bit of ice cream, all kind of texture, all kind of taste. Great to work. Okay guys, it tastes nice. It does taste nice. Hope you have liked it. The garnish is a puff crisp, which is rolled up with a little bit of brown sugar, and then we have frozen it, cut it, and then sheeted it up. So if you see this puff crisp, you'll see the layers of the sugar which is there, and yeah, that is how we have done it. So yeah, I'll be ending this session soon. Is there any question? You can directly ask me, directly DM me in my ID, which is already shared with you. I'll be happy to connect with you all again. Cool. Thank you so much guys. Have a great day ahead.